Good morning. Everybody having a glorious morning? Wow, look at that blue sky. It's a time for renewal and starting fresh things, isn't it? Well, I'm honored. My name is Carol. Hi. And I'm glad you're all here to help us begin another wonderful musical adventure in the American Adventure. And I have the opportunity to share some of America's contributions to the world with music, such as jazz, the American musical, and of course, music from Disney. So let's start with one of my favorite composers and one of my favorite songs. It's Mr. George Gershwin's I've Got Rhythm. Jazz has so many elements that came from various parts of the world and various parts of music. Rhythm is one of them. The harmonies are another. The timbre of an instrument could be a saxophone, could be a bass, could be a drum, could be the grand empress of all, of course, the piano. And the expression. You play loud, you play soft, you play fast, you play 4/4 time, 3/4. For example, what's a children's song that everybody knows, everybody loves? Little children's song. Mary Had a Little Lamb. So the song would be... Well, if a jazzer wanted to make it a ballad, they could just change the chords and keep the melody if you recognize Adventure. Now, George Gershwin is one of those wonderful favorite musicians of mine. Another one is an American treasure. His name is Leonard Bernstein, or Bernstein, however you choose. And he composed one of the most exquisite musicals. It's basically the Romeo and Juliet story, but it's called West Side Story. Bravo! What's your name?
Laura.
Give Laura a cheer. Bravo. So West Side Story, and it is a story throughout history that has existed and exists. And the original Broadway show, well, Leonard Bernstein wrote the music, and Stephen Sondheim wrote the lyrics, and Jerome Robbins did the choreography. And it was so successful, it became a movie. And the movie, the original movie, won 10 out of 11 nominated Academy Awards. And has anybody seen the new version of the new movie produced by Steven Spielberg? It's exquisite. So here's some music from the American composer, Leonard Bernstein. absolute American treasure. He was a fabulous pianist and composer and director. And he also composed Candide and many other entities. So if you get a chance to see the new movie of West Side Story, don't pass that up. It's on Disney Plus. So of course, jazz has so many different genres of jazz. And I've been playing since I'm a very young girl, and I love to compose as well. So this is a jazz tune called Play That Jazz and Jive. I need your snap again for the beginning. Nice. If your fingers get tired, that's okay. Now take a look around and what do you see? Here in this house of Disney, we sing and swing a song for you. Now make those dreams come true. You play that jazz and jive. Feel the beat and feel alive. You play that jazz and jive. Feel that beat and feel alive. Now take a look and what do you hear? Melodies to please your ear. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. Every jump is so sweet. You play that jazz and jive. Feel the beat and feel the drive. You play that jazz and jive. Feel the beat and feel alive. At EPCOT there's so much to do. Creativity on display. Festivals are so much fun. Celebrations every day. You play that jazz and jive. Feel the beat and feel the drive. You play that jazz and jive. Feel the beat and feel that jive. Well, in the Disney songbook, we have some of the most amazing composers and lyricists that have collaborated through the decades. And Alan Menken has what we call an EGOT. He has Emmys, Grammys, Oscars, and Tonys. He's simply brilliant. And he's collaborated with many lyricists through the decades. And one of them is Stephen Schwartz, who is also a brilliant composer. And they worked together on Pocahontas, and they wrote the score to one of my favorite Disney musicals, which is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So honoring their contribution to the American legacy of music, music from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. exquisite music, and the Disney Songbook is filled with so many different genres as well, such as, this is happy feet, feel-good music, and I hope it leaves you with a happy step your whole day while you're walking around EPCOT. And it's from a great little movie called The Jungle Book. Nice sound, but good. of our new adventure in the American Adventure, celebrating American music. Please enjoy a phenomenal Voices of Liberty coming up and everything in the offerings at the Flower and Garden Festival. Thank you.